It's truly amazing how much happens over the summer, not just inside the school district, but outside of the school district. And our students are always involved in things and events and plans and activities that will do so much for their future that they're putting in every second to make the most of whatever it is that they have planned. I sat down with Senior Jackson Hardy about an opportunity he had where he got to spend time with the US Coast Guard all the way up in New London, Connecticut. First, tell me who you are and kind of what you do here at Clinton High School, and then we'll kind of get into some of the awesome things you did with the Coast Guard this summer.
Gotcha. All right. My name is Jackson Hardy. I am a senior this year. I'll graduate sometime in May.
Yeah.
I do cross country for our high school team here, and I also am part of Clinton Attaché. I'm also part of the Coast Guard JROTC program. Last year I was the XO, the executive officer, which is like, to think about it, you know, you have your CO, and then you have CEO, and then you have your, I guess, not CEO, but whoever's below them. So
Kind of like a vice president.
yeah, exactly like that.
Gotcha. Okay, so this summer you had the opportunity to travel up to Connecticut to participate in something really, really awesome. Tell me a little bit about what it was that you participated in and kind of what all happened.
All right, so I got to go to New London, Connecticut at the US Coast Guard Academy to do their kind of week-long program called AIM, which is basically, I already said it, it's a week-long, and it's sort of a trial basically to see, you know, is this something that you really want to do? And I mean, it's out of everything, all of the academies, all the summer seminars, from what I've heard, AIM is like the realest deal that you can get. It's very close to what you're actually going to go through. I got the opportunity to talk to a couple of swabs who are people actually going through their 7-week training there. And those who had been to AIM said that it was pretty close to the real thing. Only difference being is that you couldn't get like individually singled out for something you did wrong. You know, if somebody was getting punished, then the whole group would kind of have to pay the price on AIM. But in swab summer, the real thing, if you do something wrong, you individually get punished for it. But yeah, it was awesome.
So it was in, you said, New London, Connecticut. What is special about this area? Is this an area that's just does training, or is this kind of where their academy is or anything?
Yes. So it's important to the military in general for a couple of reasons. The first reason being that it is where the U.S. Coast Guard Academy is. It is right there on the Thames River, like basically leading out into the port. And then also further up the river, I think literally like maybe a mile or two away, they have a submarine pen there where they have a bunch of modern day military submarines, and they also have a submarine museum there as well.
That's cool. All right, so you were there for a week. This is to get your kind of taste of it. Before we get into what's going on in the week, how would you say that Clinton's JROTC program intrigued you into this, and then how did it prepare you to let you know, hey, this is kind of what I want to do?
Oh, hugely. When I went into the JROTC here, I wasn't even thinking about Coast Guard. I was like, all right, my grandpa was in the Navy, my great-grandpa was in the Navy. I'm going to go Navy. I'm going to go fly jets. I'm going to go be Maverick from Top Gun, you know, do volleyball on the beach, do cool stuff. And then I joined the Coast Guard JROTC here and started really learning about, okay, what's that process going to look like? You know, how am I going to actually get into the Navy? What's that going to take? And then from that point on, it was a rabbit hole of knowledge that, like, you know, you have to go to the academy, you have to go 4 years there, then you have to go to flight training for another 4 years, and then you have to wait for like another 8 years to get onto a carrier. And it just really helped me realize that, okay, maybe Navy isn't really the way that I want to go, especially if I want to fly for a long time. And then I learned about the Coast Guard flying and, you know, them actually getting to go out and not just, you know, because the best way that I've heard it put, and this is from one of my dad's friends who was in the Navy, the other branches of the military prepare you for something that might never happen. Like, I mean, if I was in the Navy, I might never actually see combat. I might never actually get to go make a difference, whatever difference that may be. In the Coast Guard, you're always doing something. You're always helping save someone. You're always getting to make a difference or make a change in somebody's life. And that's kind of the big thing that determined it for me, from saying, oh, well, you know, I could be in the Navy or go fly helicopters for the Army and, you know, maybe I'll get to do something. Well, going to the Coast Guard, not only would I get to go through everything still, still go to the academy, still go to flight school, and then still get deployed. I'd get to do that quicker and then also get to make a difference immediately.
So the leadership positions that Commander Jefferson put you in, how did that prepare you? First of all, dealing with her, she is like, I love when people meet her because she's fairly short, but she is not one to mess with. She knows exactly what's going on, and she is an amazing commander. How has working with her and underneath her really prepared you for leadership down the road?
She's really just given me a lot of insight to leadership in general. She's taught. I've been here since the program started, and getting to learn and get knowledge from her about what made her an effective leader in the Coast Guard, what made her be the best for people that she was leading. Because leadership isn't all about and she says this all the time. It's not about who's the strongest, about who's the best, the fastest, who's the best dressed in the room. It's about who can actually sit in front of people, get a team together, and make a difference. And getting to learn that from her about what makes a leader, not just about again who's the strongest, who's the best, but who can actually go out and make a difference with a group of people. I think that's probably the best thing that I've learned from her.
Yeah, she's amazing. She makes me want to be better, I can tell you that. All right, so you get up there this past summer. We're just finishing out right now. You had 6 days in this program. Kind of walk me through, were the days typical? Like, was there a routine, or were they all 6 different? Or kind of tell me how those 6 days were.
There were kind of like 2 stages, I guess, to the week. You had the first part of the week, which was like the true experience. This is like, okay, this is what going to the Coast Guard is going to be like. This is what SWAB summer is going to be like. And then the latter half of the week, it was admittedly kind of a little bit like a camp. But that was kind of like you've made it through the week, you've made it now, and now you kind of get to unwind, learn about the Coast Guard and what goes on. So the first part of the week, focusing on what actually AIM was, it was very structured and rigid. You had a set time to get up, you had a set time to do this, you had a set time to shower. You would literally have, I think in the morning we had about 12 minutes to shower after PT, and that's being generous compared to the time that you're actually given. So I think the day would start around 5:30 maybe. We'd get up, immediately do nothing else. So you basically wear your clothes to sleep, you get up, slip on shoes, and then you're outside standing on the wall getting yelled at and told, all right, here's what you're going to do for the day. And then you'd have 15 minutes to shower, brush your teeth, get everything ready, and then get ready to go out and face your day. So it was very structured and rigid. So you'd get up in the morning, do PT, go shower. After that, you'd have morning, what was it? You'd have like a morning meeting where all of the platoons, all the groups would get in a centralized building, form up in front of the overall commanders, and then basically they'd say, all right, go out, carry out the plan of the day, and then we move on to whatever activities we were doing. Most of the time, it was trainings, or what they would call trainings, which is basically we got to sit down with teachers there, mainly engineering. It's a mainly engineering school. So you would get to talk to mechanical engineers, NAVARC engineers, which is naval architecture, get to talk to electrical engineers, robotic engineers, and all these different types of people throughout our different trainings. Then you also had some more, I guess, kind of outdoorsy or physical activity things. One of the days we did the PFE, the physical fitness exam, which is like you use that directly to apply to the Coast Guard Academy.
Okay.
And then in the afternoons, you would have either more trainings or you'd have like a bigger overall training, which was kind of a more fun aspect. The one that I remember the most was when we got to go sailing.
Oh. Like actually sailing.
Yes, actually sailing on
good.
the things. It was awesome. It was raining a little bit that day, so it was a little bit kind of miserable, but the overall experience was awesome. I remember talking with the 4 people I was in the boat with. So we'd have 4 aimsters, which was us, like the students, the seniors, and then we'd have 2 cadre who were people actually in the academy who had been doing this for 3 years at this point. And it literally felt like something out of a Pirates of the Caribbean movie. The ship would be almost on its side, almost at 90 degrees. You could reach out and touch the water. It was just so cool. But yeah, so again, to separate it, you'd have PT, some sort of morning briefing with all of the platoons, and then trainings throughout the day to kind of learn more about the Coast Guard and what life would be like.
Did it, we talk a lot about how much we love our career and technical education programs here at the district, where a lot of times they will let a student know where all it cost them was a year of class of this was something that I don't want to do, or it just really reinforces this is something that I need to pursue. What did this camp do for you? Did it reinforce anything for you, or did it kind of make you realize I don't want to do this, or did it say, oh, no, this is I want to go full-fledged at it?
It was kind of a little bit of both. I kind of lived in this, I guess, la-la land where I was like, oh, going to the academy will be easy. It's going to be a breeze. I'm going to have so much fun. And going to AIM kind of made me realize that kind of aha moment where we were like, oh, this is challenging. This is the military. This is the real world now. I still definitely want to go to the military. It definitely reinforced that idea that this is what I want my career to be. I want to go to the Coast Guard and fly helicopters and save people. But it also did make me realize that this isn't just going to be a one-track type thing. It's going to be challenging. It's going to be difficult.
All right, kind of close this out right here. So if there's somebody else out there that's really interested in doing this, the Coast Guard has their AIM in the summer, the Navy has things, the Army has things, Air Force, all that kind of stuff. If they're interested in really pursuing a summer type camp in one of these, what would your advice be to them?
Go in with an open mind. Go in with like a positive attitude. Don't be the one kid who's dragging everybody else down or, getting left behind. You want to be an active participant in these camps. Otherwise, you will not get the full experience. And it's going to be rough. There's going to be moments where you're thinking, man, why am I doing this? Why am I here? But in those moments, you really just got to think about the positives. You got to think about everyone else around you, because it isn't just you. That's the best part about these camps, is that you're with other people who are going through the exact same thing. So I'd say the biggest advice I could give is just go in with an open mindset. Go in with the idea that this is going to be challenging, but it's going to be awesome, and the reward at the end of the week after getting to finish it is going to be the best thing ever.